Hello everybody, and welcome back to Planescape Torment. Alright, so we're still in the beginning of this game, and we are just gonna start talking to people, trying to get out of the mortuary. The shambling corpse gazes at you with vacant eyes. Her skin is paper thin, almost wispy. It's like someone draped a sheet of cobwebs across her frame. The number 594 has been scratched onto her forehead with a charcoal pencil. Alright, well, you can try flirting with the corpse, but she's a mindless zombie. I don't need to be cordial with her, so leave the corpse in peace. Psst, you see the way she was looking at me? Huh? You see that? The way she was following the curve of my occipital bone. What are you talking about? What? Are you blind? She was scouting me out. It was shameless the way she wanted me. Wanted you to go away, maybe. She was... Nope, that was the wrong one to start reading. I think you're imagining things. She's a zombie, a corpse, a dead person. You probably didn't even register to her senses. Yeah, whatever. When you've been dead as long as I have, you know the signals. They may be too subtle for you to pick up on, but that's why I'll be spending my nights with some luscious, recently dead chit while you're standing around going, huh? What's that going on? Where's my memories? Whatever, Mort, let's go. Alright, so Mort is indeed an undead creature, and we'll find out exactly what he is a little later on. But I'm going to continue talking to these zombies because some of them have stuff that I want. The left side of this woman's face looks as if it was caved in with a club, and her flesh sags in bruised, swollen clumps over her ruined skull. The number 626 has been stitched into the corpse's right cheek, just below the eye. Nasty wound you've got there. The corpse continues to stare at you with its one good eye. Farewell then. And that's basically what all the zombies will do if you try to talk to them.
I'm gone, alright.
One more zombie in this place. This corpse is lumbering along a triangular path. Once it reaches one of the corners of the triangle, it pauses, then turns and staggers towards the next corner. It has 965 tattooed on the side of its skull. As you approach, it halts and stares at you. Heh! Looks like someone forgot to tell this sod to stop walking the rule of 3. What do you mean? These corpses don't have much left in the attic, so they can't do more than one task at a time. When they're told to do something, they'll keep doing it until someone tells them to stop. This poor sod probably finished some task, and they forgot to tell him. Who gives them their commands? Either one of the caretakers here, or else whatever necromancer raised them out of the dead book. Probably one of the caretakers here. They're the ones who need the cheap labor, after all. I see. What was that you said before, about the rule of 3?
Updated my journal.
Well, the rule of 3 is one of those laws about the planes, about things tending to happen in 3s, or everything's composed of 3 parts, or there's always 3 choices, and so on and so forth. You don't sound like you hold much faith in it. It's a load of wash, if you ask me. If you look for a number, any number, and try and attach some great meaning to it, you're going to find plenty of coincidences. Understood. Wanted to examine this zombie a bit more. Okay, so there's nothing else with this zombie. I can ask it, so why are you walking in a triangle? The corpse stares at you blankly. We'll leave it. Alright, I also did look into the controls, and I couldn't find anything to highlight interactable elements, so we're just gonna have to kind of rely on me finding out where they're at. This game can get kind of difficult because a lot of the interactable stuff kind of blends in with the background. So you just got to kind of move your mouse over and over
I'm
again.
gone.
Okay. And nothing in this one. Talk to the zombie. This corpse is shuffling from slab to slab, bandaging the corpses lying there. The number 396 is carved into his left temple, and his lips are stitched closed. You notice the corpse is carrying a roll of bandages in its hand. The bandages look usable. Mind if I borrow those bandages? The corpse continues to stare at you. Try and take the bandages. You snake your hand out and take the roll of bandages from the corpse's hand. The corpse doesn't even seem to notice. It continues going through the motions of bandaging the bodies. Examine the corpse again. Okay, nothing new here, so we got a thing of bandages.
I'm gone.
That's good. They're,
I'm
like I
gone.
said before, potions, basically. Receiving room logbook.
I'm
That
gone.
is a quest book, I believe, or important. Okay, that's a weapon and some coppers. Alright, so my scalpel does 1 to 3 piercing damage. These do 2 to 4 crushing. So these are just better, and we'll equip them. Alright, so we've got a set of brass knuckles now. Against zombies, it won't do much, but against skeletons, they'll do plenty. I don't really think I'm going
Alright.
to fight many of these zombies, so that shouldn't be a problem. Alright. Now, if I remember, this zombie is actually important. The number 1201 has been inked on the forehead of this corpse, and the ink has run down its eyes, cheeks, and jaw. As you follow the ink tears down the corpse's face, you notice it has run into the stitching sealing the corpse's lips and is caught on what looks like the corner of a note stuck in the corpse's mouth. Try and pull the note out. The note has mingled with the ichor in the zombie's mouth. If you tried to pull the paper out through the cross stitches, it would tear the paper to shreds. Hacking up the corpse to get at it looks like it will destroy the note. You'll need to find a delicate way to remove the stitches before removing the note. Well, we picked up a scalpel, so we'll use that. You deftly slice through the stitches sealing the corpse's mouth, and the jaw sags open. You carefully pull the note from the corpse's mouth. Despite the condition of the paper, the writing on it still appears legible. And then it tells you how to read notes, books, and scrolls. Alright, and that's all I needed from you, so leave it in peace. Go to our inventory. We've got a couple of things to look at. The receiving room logbook. Actually, I'm just going to combine my bandages. Okay. This huge logbook lists mortuary procedures in a tight, crabbed script. All shells entering the mortuary are to be delivered to the receiving room and logged with the scribe on duty before being embalmed or cremated. The records are to be checked to determine if the shell is one of the contracted, and if so, do not prepare the shell. Move the shell to one of the preparation rooms. Contact the scribe on duty and notify him that a contracted shell is to be raised. Be certain that a shell is thoroughly stripped of its possessions before being sent to the preparation rooms. The contracted workers are intended for simple manual labor and do not have the capacity to search and strip a shell. The faction is not responsible for any possessions, lost, or items stolen by collectors who have brought the shells to the mortuary. The shell's possessions are to be stored in the receiving room until an initiate can be sent to claim them. Please catalog all possessions in the logbook. And then there's a list of thousands of entries of bodies that have been sent to the receiving room. But the last page has been cut out. And this note from Corpse 1201. This is a foul-smelling note retrieved from the mouth of one of the mortuary zombies. It looks like it was sewn into the corpse's mouth by accident. Despite its condition, the writing is legible. Please, to whatever Dustman reads this, I beg of you, I know of my legal obligation under the terms of the dead contract, but I am prepared to offer more than my signing fee if you will cremate my body rather than raising it. I have arranged for this note to be left with my body upon my death. If you are reading this, then please use this note as instructed and accept the result in exchange for my contracted duty. Let my contract number serve as the key. And it looks like the corpse was too late to prevent the raising, but you notice that beneath the writing is a diagram. It looks like directions for folding the parchment into a strange pattern. And then it tells you how to use it. So use the use button. Okay, so what he told me is his contract number is the key to unlocking this, and his contract number is 1201. And there is a series of strange marks on each corner. 1 mark on the upper right, 2 marks on the lower right, 3 marks on the lower left, and no marks on the upper left. So we're going to go, let's see if I can remember this. It's upper right, lower right, upper left, upper right. So upper right, lower right, upper left, and fold the upper right back into the center. As you fold the upper right corner back to the center, the lower left corner mirrors the action until all the corners touch in the center. You watch for a moment, and the corners of the paper rise up, turning the note into a small 4-sided paper pyramid. Open the sides of the pyramid. You peel back the sides of the pyramid, and the paper disintegrates to dust. Inside is a small triangle-shaped earring. It catches the light and gleams brightly. Yep, we'll take that. Alright. So,
I'm gone.
We got a bit of treasure, quite a bit of experience, feeling good. Nothing here. Do you have anything that I can steal from you? The smell of formaldehyde emanating from this corpse is particularly strong. It smells like it was applied recently, and with good reason. This corpse appears to be in an advanced stage of decay. Her jaw is missing, and some of the flesh has slid off her skull, revealing the number 1072 chiseled into the bone. Okay, we'll leave it alone. Leave it alone. And something to search. There's the door, but I want to get one more piece of exposition out of the way after I talk to this zombie. This female corpse is making the rounds from slab to slab in the room. Her hair is knotted into a long braid and looped around her neck like a noose. Someone has stenciled the number 1096 into her forehead, and her lips have been stitched closed. Leave the corpse. Okay, so if there isn't something you can do with the corpse, there's really no reason to talk to them except one. But I don't think he's in this room. There's one more zombie. Alright. This walking corpse has the numbers 1094 carved into its forehead. Its mouth has been sewn tightly shut, and the chemical reek of fresh formaldehyde hangs in an overpowering cloud around it. Despite the pallid, sunken features and lifeless, milky eyes, it is clear this was once a handsome young man. So, seen anything interesting going on? The corpse continues to stare at you. Okay, we'll leave it alone.
Done.
Right, and then there is this character. He looks important. He's sitting in front of a very large book. Let's talk with him. This scribe looks very old. His skin is wrinkled and has a slight trace of yellow, like old parchment. Charcoal gray eyes lie within an angular face, and a large white beard flows down the front of his robes like a waterfall. His breathing is ragged and irregular, but even his occasional coughing does not slow the scratching of his quill pen. Alright, so you can either talk to him or leave him alone. I want to talk to him. Greetings. Well, Chief, what are you doing? I was going to speak with the scribe. He might know something about how I got here. Look, rattling your bone box with the dusties should be the last thing. Before Mort can finish his rant, the scribe begins coughing violently. After a moment or two, the coughing spell dies down, and the scribe's breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. And we especially shouldn't be swapping the chant with sick dusties. Come on, let's leave. The quicker we give this place the laugh, the better. Before Mort can finish, the scribe's gray eyes flicker to you. The weight of years hangs heavy upon me, restless one. He places down his quill. but I do not yet count deafness among my ailments. Restless one, do you know me? Know you? There is a trace of bitterness in the scribe's voice as he speaks. I have never known you, restless one, no more than you have known yourself. He is silent for a moment, for you have forgotten, have you not? Who are you? As always the question, and the wrong question as always. He bows slightly, but the movement suddenly sends him into a bout of coughing. He pauses for a moment, catches his breath. I am Dhall. Perhaps you can answer some questions for me, Dhall.
Updated my journal.
Very well. What do you wish to know? What is this place? You are in the mortuary, restless one. Again, you have come. Before he can finish, Dhall breaks into a fit of coughing. After a moment, he calms himself, and his breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. This is the waiting room for those about to depart the shadow of this life. Tell me about the mortuary. This is where the dead are brought to be interred or cremated. It is our responsibility as dustmen to care for the dead, those who have left the shadow of life and walk the path to true death. Dhall's voice drops in concern. Your wounds must have exacted a heavy toll if you do not recognize this place. It is almost your home. A shadow of life. Yes, a shadow. You see, restless one, this life, it is not real. Your life, my life, they are shadows, flickerings of what life once was. This life is where we end up after we die, and here we remain trapped, caged, until we can achieve the true death. True death. True death is non-existence, a state devoid of reason, of sensation, of passion. A state of purity. Sounds like oblivion. Why would anyone want that? Is it worse than remaining in the shadow of what life once was? I think not. I see. I had some other questions. Very well. What did you wish to know? How did I get here? Dhall snorts in contempt, as if he finds the memory repugnant. Your moldy chariot ferried you to the mortuary, restless one. You would think you were royalty based on the number of loyal subjects that lay stinking and festering upon the cart that carried you. I arrived here on a cart?
Updated my journal.
Yes. Your body was somewhere in the middle of the heap, sharing its fluids with the rest of the mountain of corpses. Your sensichal, Farad, was, as always, pleased to accept a few moldy coppers to dump the lot of you at the mortuary gate. Who is this Farad? He is a collector of the dead. Dhall draws a ragged breath, then continues. We have such people in our city that scavenge the bodies of those that have walked the path of true death and bring them to us so that they may be interred properly. Where can I find this Farad? If events persist as they have, restless one, you have a much greater chance of Farad finding you and bringing you to us again before you find whatever ooze puddle he wallows in this time. Nevertheless, I must find him. A slight warning creeps into Dhall's tone. Do not seek out Farad, restless one. I am certain that it will simply come full circle again, with you none the wiser, and fared a few coppers richer. Accept death, restless one. Do not perpetuate your circle of misery. I have to find him. Do you know where he is?
Updated my journal.
Dhall is silent for a moment. When he finally speaks, he seems to do so reluctantly. I do not know under which gutter stone Ferret lairs at the moment, but I imagine that he can be found somewhere beyond the mortuary gates in the hive. Perhaps someone there will know where you can find him. Doesn't sound like you like Ferret much. There are some I respect, restless one. Dhall takes a ragged breath and steadies himself. Ferret is not one of them. He wears his ill repute like a badge of honor and takes liberties with the possessions of the dead. He is a knight of the post, cross-trading filth of the lowest sort. Knight of the post? A knight of the post. a thief. All Ferret brings to our walls come stripped of a little less of their dignity than they possessed in life. Ferret takes whatever he may pry from their stiffening fingers. Did those Ferret take anything from me? Dhall pauses, considering. Most likely. Are you missing anything? Especially anything of value? His voice dips as he frowns. Not that Ferret would take exception to anything that wasn't physically grafted to your body. And sometimes even that's not enough to give his greedy mind pause. I am missing a journal. A journal? If it was of any value, then it is likely it lies in Ferret's hands. And we already went down the questions to ask where he is, so... I see. I had some other questions. Okay... we can kind of figure out what he does here. He already told us he doesn't know who I am. I want to ask if he can tell us how to get out of here, but first I want to make sure if he's okay. You sound ill. Are you not well? I am close now to the true death, restless one. It will not be long before I pass beyond the eternal boundary and find the peace I have been seeking. I tire of this mortal sphere. Dhall gives a ragged sigh. The plains hold no more wonders for one such as I. Are you certain? There might be some way I could help you. I do not wish to live forever, nor live again, restless one. I could not bear it. Very well. I had some other questions. And then finally, can you tell me how to get out of here? The front gate is the most obvious exit, but they will not let anyone other than a dustman pass. One of the guards by the front gate has a key to it, but it is unlikely he will open it for you unless you are extremely persuasive. And that we are not. I dumped charisma. Okay, well, farewell then, Dhall. There isn't... I guess I missed it. There is one more thing I'm looking to find out from him. Nah, we'll find it later. So...
I'm gone.
With that...
I'm gone.
I know this was kind of a long and relatively uneventful episode, but again, it's just the beginning of the game, and as an RPG, there's going to be a lot of exposition going on, a lot of side quests, and just background information. So, thank you for joining me, guys, and I'll see you next time here on Planescape Torment.